Still on the election petition tribunal, Mr. Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, has linked Bola Tinibu, the presidential candidate of the All Progressive Congress, with a sort of drug trafficking case with the U.S. government and a court in the U.S. too. All right, and he has so far petitioned that by having that case inconclusive, Mr. Bola Tinubu is not qualified to contest for the Nigerian presidency. All right, now let's have a brief overview of what this is all about. I'm going to elaborate gradually so you understand what this case is all about, how this case is going, and who might win and who might lose this particular election petition tribunal case on the results of the just concluded presidential elections in the country. I am going to give you a brief overview about this, and we'll make references to past history on this particular case, and then we'll see how possible it is to indict the president-elect or not, and we'll see how possible it is for Bola Tinubu to really go down the drain and resubmit a certificate of return as the president-elect as announced on 1st March 2023. Reporters had reported how the court papers from the US linked Bola Tinubu to drug trafficking cases and the eventual forfeiture of the sum of over $460,000 to the American government. In Obi's petition before the Presidential Election Petition Court in Abuja, Obi alleged that the election was characterized by various irregularities, including the non-qualification of the APC presidential candidate. According to him, Tinubu's forfeiture of his funds to the US government over drug trafficking allegations is an indication that the former Lagos state governor committed infractions that should disqualify him from running for an election in Nigeria. And on February 18, 2009, a newspaper obtained original copies of the judgment in the case of the United States of America versus Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in which the president-elect was charged along with other defendants in a case of massive drug trafficking and money laundering. If you could recall, this judgment directly relates to one other report that came up around September 16th, 2008, where the US federal agents successfully linked Tinibu to drug trafficking rings in Chicago. I'm going to explain that when after I'm done giving you the updates on this particular election tribunal case. Now, still on the Tinibu case, alright, the court ordered that the funds in the amount of $460,000 in an account with the name Bola Tinibu represents proceeds of narcotics or were involved in financial transactions in violation of the U.S. Constitution 18, subsections 1956 and 1957, and therefore these funds are forfeited to the United States. And then after a protracted litigation in which Tinibu claimed that the monies legitimately belonged to him, his wife, Oluremi Tinibu, and his surrogate mother, one Alhaja Mogaji Bola Tinibu, finally opted for a stipulated settlement with the U.S. government. The petitioners hereby plead and shall rely on certified copies of the following documents, namely, number one, a verified complaint for forfeiture submitted by one Michael J. Shepard, a United States attorney, and signed by one Marsha A. McClellan, an assistant United States attorney. Furthermore, Obi added that Tinubu's running mate in February, that is Kashim Shettima, in the February presidential elections, was nominated for two separate constituencies as Borno Central Senatorial District candidate and as vice presidential candidate for Nigeria under the APC in the same election cycle. That's that. Now, according to the Business Day publication of November 8, 2022, a U.S. court judgment indicted Tinibu for drug trafficking during that time. Rewind to sometime in 1993, gradually you could see that the U.S. federal agents successfully linked Bola Tinibu to a drug trafficking ring in Chicago. All right. Now, in that same 1993, you could see that Tinibu was part of the founding fathers of NADECO, which stands for a particular political organization in diaspora that were being threatened by the then government of Nigeria. But this particular petition right now is indicting Tinibu and pointing at the fact that Bola Tinibu wasn't really involved in these journeys for the sake of or for the common good of Nigerians. But facts are pointing at the true meaning that Bola Tinibu was engaging in these journeys and voyages for his own personal reasons and for drug trafficking businesses. On your screens are the original copies of the petitions that were filed by Peter Gregory Obi, the Labour Party presidential candidate, in court yesterday. And right now, the case is unfolding in a way that the members of the APC, the All Progressive Congress, would not really like, because all hands are pointing at the fact that Bola Tinubu had an unfinished case with the US government on sales of drugs, high-class drug trafficking, and a kind of protracted money laundering business deal. All right. This further tends to show that his involvement in the June 12th, 1993 saga that projected him to really stand for the welfare of Nigerians. According to the publication by Sahara Reporters, this points at the fact that Bola Tinubu wasn't really after the welfare of Nigerians then, as he hid under the canopy of Nadeko and transailed from Nigeria to US on daily basis. Ironically, the case came up at the peak of the struggle against the annulment of the June 12th, 1993. That is talking about the money laundering case and the drug trafficking case between Tinibu and the US government in the early 90s. Now, the presidential election by the General Babangida-led military regime at that time saw that one or two irregularities took place, and Mr. MKO Abiola, who was the president-elect, wasn't finally sworn in due to one or two reasons. Now, Tinibu, who at that time was a member of one of the leading financiers of the National Democratic Coalition, NADECO, as I said before, made several pro-democracy trips to the US, ostensibly to press for US sanctions against the Nigerian saga. Now, it is therefore doubtful whether most of those trips were actually connected with the June 12th struggle or not. That is that. If you listened very well, you will know that I gave you gradually what linked the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the drug trafficking case with the US government, and then I took you back to memory lane where Bola Tinubu was indicted sometime, according to the Business Day publication of 2008, and then I brought you forward to sometime in 2022 November where a publication came out that the US court judgment was unfinished and inconclusive, still pointing at the drug trafficking case involving the APC presidential candidate. And then I'm forward to yesterday that a petition was made to the Election Tribunal Petition Court in Abuja by Peter Obi, questioning the process by which Bola Tinubu was announced victorious as regards the presidential elections that took place a fortnight ago. I hope you understood my analysis there and how it tends to affect this election tribunal as it unfolds gradually. Make sure that you share this particular video and make sure you drop a comment for us in the comment section. If you are a returning subscriber, make sure you always keep or stay glued to this channel, and thank you very much for your support over time. But if you are a new and incoming subscriber, don't ever forget to subscribe to Nation's Voice Tower. Thank you and peace out.